Ashley. I know you've got loads to get through, so I'll disappear now and I'll see you at the end for questions.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Hello everybody. Hopefully you can see me, but I'm going to share a few slides with you as well. So what I want you to do, just in the yes, put yes that you can see my slides, because that's the first thing I want to do. And this is going to be, like I say, it's going to be interactive. I want to see what you guys are doing, how you're getting on, and things like that. So that's what I want to be seeing today. Right, first off, I want to add as much value as I can with this. So this is the agenda that we've got today. Okay, I'm going to go through all of this. There's loads to get through, but just keep watching, keep taking notes, and we will get through it together. And at the end, hopefully we'll have some time for questions. Okay, so I want to know what you're doing on LinkedIn. And these are the 3 mistakes that I keep seeing everybody doing, okay? So it's lurking instead of engaging. We need to be engaging and joining each other. Boring, bland, incomplete profiles. It's so easy to make your profile look amazing. And so that's what we're going to be showing you today. And overthinking content. When I start talking about content, people go, oh, I don't know what to write. I can't write it. We're going to get through all of that as well today. So don't worry, we are going to get there. All right. You can't put your hands up. Well, you can, but I won't be able to see you. So if you're using LinkedIn today, put a yes in the chat. All right. So yes, if you're using LinkedIn today. All right. Now, if you are writing content, I want you to now write content in the chat. Okay. That's what I want to see. I want to see the content. If you're writing content, I've got the chat up now so I can see. So people are writing content. That's brilliant news. All right. Hands up if you wrote content today. So if you wrote content today, I want you to write today in that. Because this is the thing, right? If we are doing lots of things on LinkedIn, lots of things happen and all the magic happens. And I've got some stories about all the magic that happens on LinkedIn. Okay, so here we go. This is Ben. All right. Ben is an accountant. All right. So we're already thinking what Ben does, and he's an accountant, but he's a he's a outsourced finance director. Okay. And every single Friday, the finance guy writes a specific post. So in the chat, what type of post do you reckon Ben writes every single Friday? He's a finance guy and it's a Friday. So what do you think Ben writes about on a Friday? Every single Friday, he does exactly the same Friday thing. All right. Exactly the same thing. Someone's saying sports, weekly end summary, finance Friday. Thank you. I love it when people put finance Friday. But the thing is, right, I think it was the very first one there on the chat. He tells a joke. Ben Westerby tells a funny joke every single Friday without fail. If he hasn't created that post by 8 a.m., he gets people message him, Ben, where's the joke? All right. And this is the thing. Ben's not taking himself seriously. Ben is being fun. Ben is being human. All right. Now, I've been using Ben's slide for a long time in these presentations because what Ben does is great. All right. And he's just being himself. And I turned around to him and said, look, I'm doing a fresh set of slides. Can I keep using your slide? He goes, yeah. And I said, can you put some numbers behind what you're doing? Because people don't believe that you can get business from LinkedIn. So I turned around to him and said, look, what are you doing? And he said, well, the biggest deal I've ever got is a 10 grand deal. All right. He only spends between 15 minutes and an hour a day on LinkedIn. All right. So that's the thing. He doesn't spend all day on LinkedIn. He's had over 1,000 newsletter subscribers in just 9 months. All right. But here's the thing. He is getting between 5 and 20 appointments, calls, chats with people every single week. Some of those, they're just picking his brain. Others turn into clients. And this is all from doing stuff on LinkedIn on a regular basis. And regular for Ben is a funny joke on a Friday. So what could you do? And this is what we need to be thinking about, is how can we change things up? We do not need to write about finance and spreadsheets all the time if we're an accountant. So what else are you going to be doing on LinkedIn? So that's Ben. So why LinkedIn? Well, the first thing, it's free, but there's over 1 billion users on LinkedIn. So your clients are going to be there. All right. Now I want you to write this next bit down. Less than 5% of people actually create content on LinkedIn. That's less than 5%. So all of you that are written in that you're writing content, fantastic. Those of you writing today, fantastic, because you are better than 95% of people on the platform. And the thing is, right, because the bar is so low, you've got this huge opportunity. So that's what we need to be thinking about, okay? This is why we should be using LinkedIn daily, because we become known. All right. That then gets people liking us, connecting with us, and maybe being our clients, maybe coming to work for us because they see that we're doing great things and they want to be an employee. But I have so much fun by being on LinkedIn. I'm here today because of what I do on LinkedIn. How much fun is that? And there's so many other things. Yesterday, I was invited to a podcast studio to go and record my own podcast with somebody else. And we just sat there and chatted, and they gave us the studio. They gave us the video, all of that because of what I'm doing on LinkedIn. So it's amazing what can happen. But here's the thing. This is why we need to be using LinkedIn. People buy from people who they know, who they like, and who they trust. And if you think about it, when was the last time that you actually spent your hard-earned money, and I'm talking lots of it, so a significant purchase, not a Mars bar or something, but when you've spent serious money on something, is it from someone you didn't like or you didn't know or you didn't trust? Probably not. Okay, so what we're using LinkedIn to build up that trust. That is the biggest commodity that we can get, and we can do it all for free on LinkedIn very, very easily. Like I said, the bar is very low. I've developed a 15-minute a day framework. Okay, just 15 minutes a day is all you need to do on LinkedIn, but it's every day. All right, you can take weekends off, it's fine. You can take time off for a holiday. But if you go into LinkedIn every single day and do all these things that I'm going to show you shortly, okay, then you will be doing the right thing. So that's what we want to be doing, going in every day and doing 15 minutes. And so these are the things I'm going to show you what we do. So mistake number one is we're lurking. So we need to stop that lurking. And we need to go in and have a bit of a habit, create some engagement, okay? Make sure that our profile's looking right, make sure we've got a decent content, and make sure that we're connecting with people. So do these things every single day. So the first thing is we need to build a habit. Now, we've probably all got habits, and I'm guessing you all brushed your hands up if you brushed your teeth. Put teeth in the thing if you brushed your teeth today. Okay, so in the chat, put teeth. Because the thing is, it's an easy peasy lemon squeezy habit to fall into, because by your sink in the bathroom is your toothbrush. So that's your trigger. Your trigger is, I see the toothbrush. Okay, there's so many smiley people today. Thank you for brushing your teeth. But then that gets you into routine. All right, and so what we need to do is we need to track that, and then you get a reward. So what are your habits on LinkedIn? So the first one I want you to do, okay, is go and have a look at your views. So if you've got LinkedIn open now, I want you to go to your profile. So it says me, and you click on that, and that opens up your profile. On your profile, if you scroll down a little bit, there's a little number there that says profile viewers. All right, these are people that have looked at your profile, all right, in the last 90 days. Now, if you do not have premium, I have premium, so I get this beautiful graph and I can see who's looking at my profile. But if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see some smudged out faces. Then you'll see a little advert for LinkedIn Premium. And then below that, you will see 5 people that have just looked at your profile. That might be in the last hour, might be in the last 10 hours, might be in the last day or two. But if you come to this page every single day and write that number down, whatever that number is, write that number down. All right, I promise you, within a week, that number will have increased if you go in and do these daily habits. And that's your reward, because your reward will be that number increasing. While you're there, have a look at the people that have looked at your profile and reach out to them because they're warm. All right, so that's the trigger for your daily habit. The next thing we need to do is get rid of all of our red dots. Now, I teach LinkedIn on the desktop. The desktop is absolutely incredible because what we get with the desktop is we can actually use our browsers to give us shortcuts and stuff like that. And we don't have to worry about fat fingers and hitting the wrong thing. So we can go in there and we can use that. All right. You're going to get all these red dots for your home feed, your notifications, your DMs, your connection requests, and things like that. So go in and see those. All right. On your mobile, they're at the bottom, but you've got red dots. So go in there and clear those red dots. And the first thing you do is go into your home feed. Now, on your home feed, you will get lots of content coming towards you. Probably seems like noise. It probably seems too much. But what we need to do is to curate that content for us. Okay, so when we are going on LinkedIn, we will see lots of different types of content coming in. And there's people out there that turn around and say, oh, this content shouldn't be on LinkedIn. It should only be for Facebook. And they get on their keyboards and they start tappity tapping saying this should be on Facebook. It shouldn't be on LinkedIn. Now, what they're doing, they're telling the LinkedIn algorithm that they like those types of posts. So LinkedIn keeps showing them more. Okay. So if you interact with some content that you like, you'll start seeing more of it. All right. So that's what you need to be doing. But you can also go in there and start changing things around, because if you go on, you can see the 3 dots. Okay. So those 3 dots will allow you to drop down that page, and then you can turn around and say you're not interested or unfollow. All right. Please don't unfollow me, because I share so many different bits about what we should be doing on LinkedIn, how to save things and all kinds of stuff like that. So don't unfollow me. But if you're seeing the same stuff from the same crypto person, then you can unfollow it. So curate your feed. The next thing we get is loads of notifications. Okay, someone's commented on a post that you commented, someone's liked your post, all that sort of stuff. All right, so that's great. But in there, there's some golden nuggets, all right, such as birthdays, new positions, job anniversaries. These are things that people have shouted about, okay? And if someone's shouting about that they've got a new job, or they've been at a job for a while, or it's their birthday, then there's nothing wrong with you going in and saying, hey, have a great birthday. Hope you have a lovely day, etc., etc. Or fantastic news on your brand new job. I bet you can't wait. You're going to set the world on fire, something like that. Because when you're doing that, you're adding a comment and you're adding your personality rather than just congrats. Okay. So this is a real goldmine. So make sure you go in, okay, and go and have a look there. Okay. The next thing we need to do is look at everybody that wants to connect with us. Okay. Most people do not send a message, so we don't know why they want to connect with us. But go in and click the accept button or the ignore button. But make sure they're going to add value to your network. Because here's the thing. I get lots of people saying to me, oh, I get a lot of recruiters wanting to connect with me. And I said, that's brilliant news. And they go, why? I said, well, a recruiter talks to other business owners. And if they're doing amazing things on LinkedIn, all right, then they've got an audience that you can tap into as well. They're going to be connected to all the different people that you want to be connected with. So go in and have a real think about whether or not you want to connect with that person. They may or may not be a future client, but they could be someone that would refer you. They could be someone that you can collaborate with. There's loads of reasons to connect with people, and we're trying to build our network. That's what we're trying to do by being on LinkedIn and getting known by more people. The thing is about engagement, right, is we want to be seen by more people. In the chat, if you go to networking meetings, write in the word network. So networking meetings. So I actually run my own here in Sidmouth. But the thing is, if you think of LinkedIn as a 24/7 global network and do everything on LinkedIn that you would do in a networking meeting, then you're going to win on LinkedIn. Okay, you can see from that picture that I've met with lots of different people at networking events. There's one at the bottom there. We're at the golf course. Now, when we were at the golf course talking, we spoke about golf. We had amazing breakfast bap, so we were talking about the bacon. All right, we were not talking about LinkedIn. They're HR people that I'm stood with there. We weren't talking about HR. We were just talking about life. Okay, the two ladies at the top in the pink and the red t-shirt that I was chatting to up there, that was at a hotel where we had a walk around the grounds and they were showing us the grounds. So we were talking about gardening, we were talking about tennis, we were talking about accommodation because they were showing us all the different accommodation that they had there. We were talking about vacations, we were talking about hot tubs and things like that. Nothing to do with business, okay? Nothing to do with business, but everything to do with having a relationship, okay? People buy from people who they know, who they like, and who they trust. And if you've got a hot tub and you like hot tubs and someone else has got a hot tub and they like hot tubs, we've automatically got something in common straight away, all right? Which is why I love talking about my children, because other parents get me, all right? That's why I like talking about my music, because other musicians get me. And so if all I talked about was LinkedIn and none of my personal stuff, you wouldn't build that connection. So think about what you do at a networking event and do it on LinkedIn. It's so much easier. You don't have to make sure you've got your makeup done and stuff like that. You don't have to jump in the car and spend hours driving anywhere. It's here and you can use it. When you're at a networking event, okay, and you're having a little chat with somebody, and we're chatting about hot tubs, okay, and you're saying something about hot tubs and then I'm saying something back. When you finish saying, do you ever do this? We never just put our thumb up when we're talking to people. It's all about building that relationship and coming back and saying, hey, that's a great point of view. I love that, or I don't love that. And start a debate. Bring other people into that conversation. Okay. So, you know, there's three of us chatting. We're talking about this, this, and this, and it's your turn to talk. It doesn't happen. So why is it acceptable on LinkedIn? So what I want you to be doing is adding comments, okay? Start writing down stuff, what you would say. So talking about the hot tubs. Yeah, I love a good hot tub, and the best thing to do in a hot tub is take a glass of champagne or whatever it is, and you can actually tap that out. And when you start tippity tapping out all of that stuff on LinkedIn, you are letting people see you. You are adding your personality. You can add a bit of humor, okay? And if you go and have a look at my post this morning, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly put this in there for you because I'm asking for a poll. So this post this morning has got lots of people talking, all right? And people are adding their comments and you're seeing how other people are thinking and doing it. So that's like us sitting in a room. Not many people have liked the post today because it's a poll, but lots of people have come on and commented. And this is where the magic is with the commenting, because if you look at this post that I commented on Daniel Priestley's post, and I don't know if anybody knows Daniel Priestley, but he gets a lot of engagement on his content. I added this comment on his post, and I got 9,864 impressions just on the comment. I added a comment that added value. Nearly 10,000 people saw that comment. Okay, so that's the thing. People will see your comments. Not normally that many. One of my clients added a comment on a post that went viral, which had about 800,000 views. Her comment had 54,000 impressions. Could you imagine that? 54,000 people seeing who you are. So that's the thing, right? So make sure you are commenting. It is the currency of LinkedIn, and it's your opportunity to add your views, your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas, and your personality. Right, so mistake number 2, our profiles are not our brand, they're more a bland, okay? And we need to shine on LinkedIn. So what we've got to do is think about what people are going to think when they come to our profile. So I'm going to start showing you the first things that we do. And the very first thing I say to people is make sure you've got an amazing photo, okay? People buy from people, and I know I keep saying this, but you know, it is all about the repetition, okay? So people buy from people who they know, who they like, and who they trust. And what better way to trust someone than to see a lovely smiling face, okay? And I'm not saying smile like this. All right, smile with your teeth, smile with your eyes. Okay, I got so many wrinkles around my eyes because I love smiling. And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. The human brain cannot differentiate between a photo and a real person or even a video. So I smile at you now. Hopefully you're smiling back. All right, because your brain sees me smiling. All right, and your brain releases oxytocins, and you can do that with just a photo. So your photo, number one, is not the one we trust. That is because we've probably got our settings incorrect. Number two, fantastic if you work for Pixar or Disney, that's great. Number three, I see this a lot, and I'm sorry to pick on the guys, but we come onto LinkedIn and we think, oh, we need to have a photo with a suit. And the last time we had a suit on was at Sally's wedding. So we find the photo of Sally's wedding, and there I am in my suit, and my wife's in the background, and you can just see her hair. So let's get rid of those number three photos. Go with number four. Number four, we want a photo where it's you right in the screen as big as you can get. In fact, get your mobile phone and get someone to take the photo literally that close to your face. All right, because then we can blow it up. All right, and the next thing we need to do is to put a color behind us. All right, don't know if you noticed, but yellow seems to be my favorite color, even my coffee cup. So make sure your brand color is around, all right? And there's nothing wrong with wrinkles, Claire. I've earned every single one. All right, so make sure you put a color behind you. All right, and the thing is, because by doing that, you're standing out and you're being memorable. I use the same image on my volunteer badge, okay? And what happens is people remember me. You become your own McDonald's. That's what we need to be doing, all right? So make sure you fix your photo. You can use Canva and get that done. And write this down. 70% of people use LinkedIn on their mobile phones, all right? That means that your little photo, if you're stood too far back, all right, I'm not going to see you because your photo is between 4 and 6 millimeters big on my mobile phone. So you really need to stand out. That's why I'm saying, fill that screen. I know it's cringy, but on my mobile phone, you can't see my wrinkles at 4 millimeters big, but you can make out that it's me. And that is key. Okay, the next thing we're looking at is the banner. Now, a lot of people just have the default banner, okay? And it's showing that we're not quite ready, all right? Or we don't know how to use LinkedIn, okay? On my YouTube channel, there are videos on how to create the banner. It's not difficult, and there's some great templates within Canva that you can just create your own, but you've got to remember this thing. And if you could just do me a favor, okay? And hold your finger up like this, all right? And just rub your finger across this part of your other finger, all right? Because that is the size of your banner on my mobile phone. So there it is, look there. It's that big, all right? We've got to make sure that we can read it on a mobile phone. Your banner on my mobile phone is 1.5 centimeters by 6.5 centimeters, okay? I don't wear my specs all the time and I'm not going to be able to read it. So make sure it's a huge, big font on your banner, all right? The next thing I need to be able to see from your banner is what you do, all right? And the name of your company isn't what you do, it's the name of your company. And we need to see straight away what you do. And more importantly, spell it out for me. Tell me how you can help me. Because if I know how you can help me, I can recommend you to somebody else that also needs that help, okay? Because I may or may not need your services, but I've just spoken to somebody that could really do with your services. And now I know that that's what you do, then that's really going to help me understand. The other thing you need to be thinking about is your logo and your website and your contact details, all of that sort of stuff. I see that plastered all over the banner. Now, as soon as you start putting that on the banner, you're squeezing your real estate away and you've got less room for me to see what you do. Okay? I want to know what you do. I want to see straight away what you do. And the thing is, there's a little acid test here. If anyone here has got a 10-year-old kid, put 10 in the chat. All right. So if you've got a 10-year-old child, put 10 in the chat. Now, the thing is, what I want to know now from you, I'm just going to pick on Angela because that's the first name I saw. Angela, could your 10-year-old child look at your banner, all right, and tell us what mummy does? Because if that's the case, then you've got an amazing banner. If not, we need to go back to the drawing board. And if anybody else, John, you've got old children. If anybody else, okay, is struggling with their banner, send it to Angela or Eva or Brent. There's lots of people there with 10-year-old children. All right, so you get what I mean. All right, we need to be able to pass that 10-year-old child test. It's got nothing to do with 10-year-old children being on LinkedIn, because they're not. But I promise you, we all behave like 10-year-old children when we get on LinkedIn. Could my, Angela, could my banner could my banner pass the 10-year-old test? That's what I need to know. Could my banner pass the 10-year-old test? And that's the thing, all right? If your banner can do that, then you are winning at banner, okay? So that's what you need to be doing. Do the Canva template for the... Do you have a Canva template? I do, actually. I haven't thought about sharing that on this, but yeah, that is something I can do. Okay, so next thing is your headline. On LinkedIn, you've got this headline. I've circled it there. Your headline, okay, is by default the job title that you've put in where you're working, okay? And what we need to do is we need to change that up. We need to make it a little bit more fun. We need to stand out. If I say to you, think of one of these job titles, okay? Solicitor, recruiter, accountant, and we've all got loads of other job titles as well. But if you think of one of those job titles, what comes to mind? Okay? If you've had some terrible dealings with one of these people, you're going to have a negative thought about one of these job titles. If one of your friends is the best recruiter in the world, you are going to love recruiters, all right? But we've all got an impression of what these job titles are. So if we just have our job title within our headline, that's going to give everybody the wrong impression because they're having their impression. And what we need to do is we need to change it up. So when I first started, I was the owner at Full Cup Coaching. I was pretty pleased, got my own business. But Full Cup Coaching doesn't tell you what I do. In fact, I was at an event once and somebody thought that I was a personal trainer. Well, that's a million miles from the truth. So if I put LinkedIn trainer and coach, everyone's going to go, oh, not another LinkedIn trainer, not another coach. So some LinkedIn trainers suggest we have a formula. I help accountants, so that I help my ideal client get whatever it is I do. So it's leads using LinkedIn, using my 50-minute framework. Okay. So I help busy business owners get out of the mess by using my accounting services or something like that. You know, you could make up a formula, but everybody's making up formulas. So we want to come up with something a little bit different. Okay. So different. I've got it printed on the back of my t-shirt. This is what we need to be. We need to stand out. We need to be different. We need to be memorable. Okay. So see if you can come up with something a bit like that. Okay. Something a bit different so that it stands out there. I've put in a few other words as well so that people get an idea. But basically what happens is people see the 15-minute guy, they make an impression, and then they do something. Okay. Now, here's some ideas for you. What do people say about what your clients say? I had a bookkeeper once that turned around and said, oh, my client, she calls me her fairy godmother. I said, brilliant. Be the fairy godmother of bookkeeping. Yeah. Do you have a usable name? Okay. If you've got a usable name, you could use that. One of my accountants is now known as the scooter riding accountant. So it shows that she's a little bit more fun. What are your hobbies? What fires you up? You could be the guitar playing coach or something like that. What are you passionate about? It might be eco-friendly stuff. Yeah. So use those ideas. And the last mistake we're making on LinkedIn, or there's loads, but the 4 today I'm going to share with you, is your contact info. You've got to make it easy for people to get hold of you. So on your top of your profile, you click that contact info button, and then all of this amazing stuff pops out. So right at the very top, you've got your LinkedIn URL. And I can see lots of people are sharing that in the chat. I've just shared mine, so please connect with me. The next thing I've got are 3 websites. Okay, you've got space for 3 websites. Please use them. Put in your Calendly link so that somebody can book a quick call with you. Put in your YouTube channel so I can go and see all your videos, and put in your website. All right, that's what we need to be doing. Yeah, going in there, I can find out a little bit about you. I've just been watching something on the TV. I've found you on LinkedIn because I wanted to find out about whatever business you do, and I've found you on LinkedIn, and I can see that I can book a call with you next Tuesday. Absolutely perfect. Put your phone number in. I get people turning around to me and saying, "Oh, I don't put my phone number in," and I say, "Why haven't you got your phone number in your LinkedIn?" And do you know what they say? "I don't want people phoning me." I'm thinking, my goodness, you've got to make it easy. So put your phone number in. And if you don't want your mobile phone number in, get a landline, get a phone answering service, but put that in there. Make sure you put your proper email address in there as well. Not flashash42@hotmail.com. Put in your name at company name. So put that in. And put your birthday in. All right. So what I've got here is I'm showing off my birthday, all right, which is May the 2nd. On May the 2nd, okay, all of my connections get a notification that I exist, all right? And I said this to one person. She said, "Yeah, I change it every quarter." It's a free marketing tool from LinkedIn. Why wouldn't you do it? And it doesn't have to be your birthday, as long as it's near-ish, or this lady, once a quarter. Okay, so those are the things we need to do to our profile so that we stand out, not bland out. And then we come to creating content. And I know nobody likes it. I just see a quick message there. You just share a day and a month, okay, Rhea? You don't have to put your whole birthday and your date of birth, and it doesn't have to be your specific birthday. As long as it's near your birthday, it really doesn't matter. But basically what it means is everybody's going to see you on that day. Right, so we go back to content. We do need to create content. It's important we create content, but, and here's the but, we don't have to do it every single day, okay? We just need to create a little bit of content. But here's the thing, right? What's stopping you from creating content? Huh? Why don't you create content? Put yes in the chat if this is you, all right? I'm afraid of what people may think of me, all right? Oh, bless you. I didn't think I'd have so many yeses, but I totally get you. I totally get you. And it used to be me, honest, all right? I've gotten over it, all right? But here's the thing. Guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all, all right? And I can prove that because if you've got streaming, all right? So Netflix, YouTube, Paramount, Disney, there's a million of them, isn't there? So just put yes if you've got a streaming site, and then this will make sense, this little story. Because the thing is, okay, here I am on the sofa with my wife. We are going to sit down and watch something tonight on Netflix, and looking at the screen, there's a Ricky Gervais thing there. So we'll watch Ricky Gervais, and my wife will turn around and go, "Oh, I like Ricky Gervais." She doesn't sound like that, but so that you know it's two different people. "Oh, I like Ricky Gervais. He's funny, isn't it? I locked him in the office." I go, yeah. He's always funny. We'll watch it. So we sit there and we watch Ricky Gervais on Netflix. We're there with our popcorn and a glass of milk, all right? And we're watching it, and it's not funny. Has this happened to you? Put yes if this has happened to you, all right? I'm there watching it and it's rubbish. And I look at my wife And I bet you've all done this too. Oh, this is rubbish, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I know. I thought it was going to be much better than this. And we look at each other and what do you say? What do you say next? What do you say next? Go on in the chat. What do you say next, right? Should we give it 5 more minutes? And we do. We give it 5 more minutes and we try it out, all right? And after 5 minutes, we look at each other and go, oh my goodness. And we don't watch it. But here's the thing, right? How many of you have written to Ricky Gervais and said that show was rubbish? How many of you have written to Netflix and say, please don't put Ricky Gervais on ever again? You don't, because you don't care, because there's loads more content on there. All right. So nobody cares until you make them care. So what you do is you create content. A couple of people will see it, then a few more people, and then a few more people. And before you know it, lots of people will be loving your content, but you just create it and see what happens. What is the best that can happen? And that's the thing. And that's the magic. So streaming sites. Yeah, you'll be thinking of me when you're next watching Ricky Gervais, won't you? Right. So next thing, what can I write about? People don't know what to write about, okay? And the thing is, when I've been doing my training, that's the biggest thing that people struggle with, all right? So here's some ideas of what you could write about. So take a photo of that. But I've written a book, all right? You can see the book in the background. There it is. That's 101 ideas for content. And that all came from my newsletter because I put out a newsletter every week with 5 ideas. And you can write about absolutely everything because I've already said at networking events, we talk about everything. Hot tubs, for example. Yeah. So what you need to be doing is just creating stuff. Think of all the different things here. What's the best part of your week? Every single Friday, Ben tells a joke. Every single Friday, I do a gratitude post. All right. And it'll really make me smile if you come on my post tomorrow and say, I'm grateful for your presentation yesterday, Ashley, because that's where we start sharing the love. All right. So come up with something that you can write about, and it doesn't have to be your job, okay? This is Samantha Mitchum. She's an accountant. She is doing amazing things on LinkedIn, but back in 2021, she wrote a post saying, this is what I'm going to write about next year, okay? So she hit on these ideas: Motivational Mondays, Tax Tip Tuesday, Workout Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, Feel Good Friday. And she came up with all of those ideas. So that meant that when she came in on a Tuesday, she knew she had to do a little video about Tax Tip Tuesday. And if you can think of something that you can do every single day, once a week, all right? I'm not saying to be Samantha, just do once a week. And what I want you to do is look at this, all right, and pick something. I've created a little sheet that is going to get sent to you with the 5 ideas on, all right? So we've got Marketing Monday, Tech Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Tradey Thursday, Finance Friday, all right? Whatever your job is, try and make an alliteration with one of those days, and every single Wednesday, write about Wellness Wednesday. And I promise you, by next Wednesday, you'd have thought of 2 more ideas. And as you go around, you'll be thinking of all these ideas, all right? Because your reticular activation system will be helping you think about those ideas. So once a week is better than 5% of people on LinkedIn, all right? You do not need to post every single day, Jules. You cannot do it. It's hard work. There's other things we need to do. We need to comment. We need to do our red dots, okay? So please do not create content every single day on LinkedIn, okay? You will get into a rhythm and then you can do more, but once a week is better than 5% of people on LinkedIn. This one post, okay, it's just one post. This one post has changed my life. That's a big, bold statement, isn't it? It was something to do with scope creep, which accountants struggle with. And Lorraine Ellison saw this post and she contacted me. Lorraine Ellison was running the conference for CIMA, which is the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. And she saw the post and she said, Ashley, could you please come and do a talk at our conference? There'd be about 100 accountants there. I had never done a public speaking thing before. I'd spoken in a cafe at a networking event for about 15 people at breakfast. Wasn't paid. This was a paid gig. It was a big gig for me. It was a big conference. Yes, it was scary, but I did it. Okay. All from this one post. And this is what happens. Okay. So from that one post, they asked me back to do the closing keynote the following year. So my fee went up. I've since been working with Accountex, which is the world's biggest accountancy show. I've done an AAT Members Day. I've worked with Team 17, where I was on the same stage as Patrick Keelty, not at the same time. I've done keynote speeches for a big event near here. I've worked with ICAS. And today, I cannot believe I'm here today sharing my knowledge with Small Business Britain. Okay, they are putting out some amazing content. There's some amazing speakers, and now I'm in the ranks of those speakers. But it doesn't stop there, because November last year, so it was the 5th of November, I'll never forget, I got to stand on stage in Canada. Okay, they flew me out to Canada to create, to do a talk. All right, all from that one post. What is the best that can happen? Okay, and the last thing I'm going to talk about today is reaching out, because we want to reach out and say hello to people. Okay, so we need to connect with people. So go back to your views. These people have looked at your profile. Okay, go back to your content. These people have reacted with your content. Okay, all of these people are warm and are interested in what you're doing. So if you reach out to them, they are going to connect with you. Okay, if you look at their profile, you will get this little box. Okay, it'll say message, it will say follow or connect. All right, now if it doesn't say connect, you click the more button, because the more button opens up some more magic. All right, and that magic is the connect button. If you click that connect button, then you can go in and you can add, you have the option of adding a note. Okay, click add a note, because it's really, really personal. All right, someone's just done something, and now you can reach out to them. Okay, so here we go. Hi Ashley, I noticed you just followed me. Thank you. Why not connect? And that way I get to see your content too. So there's a reason for them to connect with you. Down below that, you can see I used most of my 300 characters. I've said something about my content will help you do more on LinkedIn. And so that's it. Jules, I know you only get a few messages without premium. So here's a top tip. All right. What you do is you go onto their content. You go onto their content and you turn around and you say, I love your content. I'm going to connect with you. Thank you so much. This post has really, really helped me today. I'm going to connect with you. And then when you connect, they know who you are. And then when they connect to you, you send them the message you were going to send. Okay. Right. I've got an option for you. So this is where Emma comes in. I can go in and I can show you searching on LinkedIn, or we can go in and I can answer all your questions. The chat has gone mad today, hasn't it, Emma?
It has gone absolutely crazy. It really has. Let us know in the chat. A few people say searching. Ashley, at the end, if you share your LinkedIn details, are you happy for people to contact you if they've got questions, if we want to do
absolutely. Look, there's quite a few people on here, so I might not get back to you today. And tomorrow I'm going to a show, so I might not get back to you till next week, but please reach out. You all want to see the search and you don't want the Q&A, so that's absolutely fine. So let me just put my LinkedIn in here and let's go into live searching. So this is without a safety net now. So let's see if I can find LinkedIn, so bear with me. All right, so let's go into LinkedIn. So we go into the search bar, okay? And in the search bar, all right, I can't see the chat now. Where's that chat gone? Get the chat back. In the chat, guys, I want somebody to tell me what sort of person I'm looking for. So I normally do it with accountants, but anybody. All right, so I want a job title that I'm going to search for in marketing. We're going to do marketing. Let's go and target some marketeers then. Okay, so in the search bar, what we do is we write marketing. Okay, and then I just hit return. Okay, so here's marketing. And what I'm getting jobs. Yeah, I'm getting people, I'm getting posts, I'm getting services, I'm getting courses. There's loads of different things that I can do. What I want is I want people. All right. If I click on people, LinkedIn is now filtering everybody that I'm connected to, everybody that they're connected to, and everybody that they're connected to. So great question, Emma. First, second, and third. All right. So I'm connected to Emma, who's running this. So Emma and I are both first connections. Okay. Now, Emma's not connected to my daughter. Okay. So therefore, my daughter is Emma's second connection. All right. And my daughter's not connected to somebody else. And therefore, that's Emma's third connection. All right. This is all we can do. We can only see three steps. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is I can go in here and filter on that. All right. Now, I live near Exeter. So what I'm going to do is I want to speak to all the, I can't even spell Exeter. All right. This is why I don't like doing this live, because when people watch, okay, you spell things wrong. It's a known law. All right. So Exeter, England, UK. All right. So that's the first thing. So the first filter is Exeter. All right. Now, what I want is I want the top people. So they are going to be the owner. And if I put a capital O and a capital R, that's a Boolean search. They will be the MD. All right. And then I could do space and then or, capital O, capital O, capital R, and then director. My Devonshire accent's coming out there, isn't it? Okay, so I am now looking at people with marketing in their titles. All right, their owner or director. And let's just click on show results. And this has now brought up a load of people that I can then go in and have a look at. All right. And so what I'm doing now, okay, so here we go. We've got Jake. Jake is the business owner of a marketing agency. So I can reach out to Jake now. But here's the thing. This is the magic. Jake is also connected to Jonathan, Dave, and 4 other mutual connections. So I was literally chatting to Dave last week. So I could ring Dave up and say, hey, Dave, do you know Jake Whitaker? And he'd go, oh, yeah. I was only talking to him last week. I say, brilliant. Can you send me an introduction? All right. So I can get to speak to Jake straight away. All right. What I can do is I can go and have a look at Jake and have a look at his profile. All right. And this is where there's even more magic. Because I've now looked at Jake's profile, he's going to see that I've been looking at his profile. So he might click on my profile to find out who I am. And then he's going to connect with me. So there you go. That is how you do the reaching out on LinkedIn. All right. Send a nice connection message. We have got 10 minutes for questions, Emma.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Amazing. We've got time for both the searching and the questions. Perfect. So the first question. Oh, actually, before you dive into questions, Cheryl put an interesting note in the chat. She said that don't lose yourself to likes. And I think that is such an important thing to mention. You know, it's so easy to kind of, judge how we're doing based on how many likes or impressions or, yeah, exactly. You get it, Ashley, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's the conversations. Right? It's the conversations. I might say something, all right? And it's not what I say or how I say it. It's how I make people feel, all right? And you and I are both smilers, right? And I walk up the street and I smile at everybody and they're walking in the opposite direction and they are probably smiling too, all right? And it can be infectious, all right? I want to start a pandemic of smiling, all right? And it's exactly the same thing when you're adding a nice comment, all right? You can add your personality and stuff like that. Right, let's have some questions.
Okay. How do you feel about scheduling posts through a scheduling platform? Does it damage impressions in your opinion?
Right. Okay. So this is an algorithm question. All right. There's so many people talking about the algorithm. I don't talk about the algorithm. I was on a podcast yesterday, as I said. One of his questions was about that, and I said, don't worry about it. I just show up. All right. I show up regularly. Okay. So think about the networking event. If you go to a networking event, you're going to see people and you're going to be you. So if you come on LinkedIn and be you, all right, and create your own content regularly, then that's all you need to do. And I do appreciate that, yes, sometimes we have to schedule. I schedule my Sunday post, all right? So I put a newsletter out on LinkedIn and I schedule that for a Sunday because I do not come in this shed on a Sunday, all right? I come in and push the vac around so it's all tidy for Monday. But I do not do any work. I do not touch my computer. I do not look at LinkedIn. All right. And my out of office on LinkedIn says something along those lines. Okay. But I do create a bit of content because I like to give back. So I schedule that. But the problem is with scheduling, you've got it in your head that you've scheduled it and then you forget it. All right. Whereas if I write it straight away, I'm interacting with it. So yeah, I'm not a fan of scheduling, but I know it has a place.
Now, a few people are asking about how you can be your natural self on LinkedIn, and sometimes people saying that it's hard if you are acting as kind of your business. How do you show a side of yourself without seeming to be a little bit fake? You're very good at being your authentic self, Ashley. I feel like it just comes quite naturally to you. Any tips on someone who might want to share a post that's authentically them? I know it's a hard question.
This is all about mindset. Okay. We were talking about this on the podcast yesterday, and the guy that was filming us actually started laughing. All right. Because the thing is, if you show up as yourself, you don't need to be anything else. All right. I'm a bit jumpy. I'm a bit, I love life. I've got lots to give. All right. And that's what I do when I'm on LinkedIn and when I'm in real life. Okay. Sometimes my wife tells me to get back in my box, but I'm just being me. All right. I do not send a robot to networking events. All right. So don't be a robot, be you. And if you're a little bit sweary, be a little bit sweary. If you're a little bit timid, be a little bit timid. Because what happens is, right, we will attract people like us. All right. Now, I know that some people watching this thinking, oh my God, this guy's intense. Yeah. All right. And I'm talking about positivity today on my post. And there's a couple of people that don't like the positivity. And I get that too. All right. And so just be you, because if you're not you and you make it more businessy, it's like, oh, do I need to be businessy today or do I need to be Ashley? And I turn up as me 100% of the time.
I think it's easy to over edit, isn't it? So maybe first draft, try not to go in and refine that, and then you're most likely to be your most authentic self.
Emma, what's the best that can happen?
Exactly. What's the best going to happen? Cool. Next question is about verification. Do you need to be verified on LinkedIn, and how do you go about doing that?
Oh, I've got a great video on my YouTube channel. Okay, so find that. All right, on my YouTube channel. I haven't got it to hand, but it's a great little video, because what happened is I accidentally unverified myself, and so what I did is I recorded myself getting verified again, and then when I got it, I went, oh my goodness, it works, and I was so excited. So that video is there. I'm not sharing my screen, so maybe I can find it while we go to the next question. But the thing is with verification, right? There is an option to be verified. So why wouldn't you have it? All right, because there's a lot of fake stuff going around. So I know that you are Emma, who you are, say you are, yeah? All right, you've got to put your passport details in, but it's just scanning your passport. And we all scan our passports when we go to passport control. We put it through that machine. We don't know where it's going, okay? So that's yeah, I would get verified. All right. It only works in certain countries, and it only works if you've got your real name. So, if I was married to Sally Smith and I used Smith on LinkedIn, but my passport is Leeds, then that's not going to work. But yeah, I think it's a great idea to do. I've verified myself twice now. But yeah, I'll find that video and I'll drop it in.
Interesting that you can go unverified and then re-verify as well. That's good to know, I feel.
Well, that's why I was so excited.
How often would you suggest adding a comment? I don't want to seem overly keen if I comment on every single post I come across.
Okay, so let me just put that YouTube channel, and I'm going to put a load of hearts in front of it so that it's easy findable on here. There you go, there it is. Right, okay. If I go to a networking event, and look, think of LinkedIn as a networking event, right? All right. At a networking event, are you just going to sit there and talk to Emma? All right. Or are you going to walk around the room and chat to other people? All right. Some people go to a networking event and just sit in the corner, or they go with Emma and they just stand and talk to Emma and then they leave with Emma. All right. And you're going to get more value from the networking event if you go and do other things. All right. So here's a top tip. If you're going to networking events, go early. Meet the organizer and say, right, who do I need to speak to today? I'm a little bit nervous about networking events. Is there anyone else here who's nervous? Can you help me? All right. And that's the way to do it. Turn sideways so that people come in. All right. But Go around the room. All right. I'm just going to go and get another coffee. I'll see you in a minute. And then you can go and talk to somebody else. So do exactly the same on LinkedIn. All right. When you are next level LinkedIn, you're doing 10 comments a day on 10 different posts. All right. And you're not doing it on the same people tomorrow. All right. So it's all of that. All right. I think what we're going to have to do is save that chat. So Ellie, if you can do that for us, please. And I will grab hold of all the questions. I will answer them all, and I'll share something with you that you can share with everybody. All right.
Super.
Because whenever I do this, there's always more questions than there is time.
I know. I think we've got at least 20 left, and there's some more I've got in my notes as well.
And they keep popping in. They keep
coming in, which is amazing. Okay, next question. How do we find more Daniel Priestley kind of people for our niche? Is there anything that I could be searching for?
Oh, what a brilliant question. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But there are people in your niche, all right, that are doing that. So look, I talked about hot tubs. Okay. I talked about hot tubs. Google hot tubs. Get ChatGPT to do some deep research. The deep research facility on ChatGPT is incredible. But there's going to be people that, you know, go to your local hot tub store, all right, and have a chat with the manager. All right, just sort of like, hey, is there any chance I could pick your brains? All right, because that guy that runs the hot tub, or his wife, they probably go to the hot tub show. All right, and at the hot tub show, they get all these speakers in that are amazing at polishing hot tubs or installing hot tubs or whatever hot tubs. Oh, I don't have a hot tub and I don't want one. I don't know where that has come from today, but you will find those people. All right, and the other thing is, if you start looking for them, you'll find them more. Like I talked about the reticular activation system. Yeah, that is the thing that helps you get through life. Because if we looked at everything and took everything in, our brains would blow up. All right. But when you change your car, let's just say you are going to buy a red Mini. You don't see many red Minis around. But when you drive home in your brand new red Mini, everyone's got a red Mini. And that's your reticular activation system. So if you start looking for Daniel Priestley type people, then that's how you're going to find them. Quite a few of them comment on my post as well. So, hey, who knows?
What's your opinion of sharing a post that you've written for other social media? So for instance, Instagram, Facebook, or a blog on your website over onto LinkedIn?
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Because the thing is, right, I do not do any other platform. All right. And this is the thing. It's better to do one platform brilliantly than all of them poorly. All right. And if you think LinkedIn is going to be your thing, go all in. If you think you're brilliant on Instagram, stay on Instagram. Don't bother with LinkedIn because there's not enough time in the day for you to do the do. All right. And you hear all these, you know, social media agencies, you need to be on this one. And you're like, oh, I can't do it. You know, and you know, if you create a bit of content for every single platform and it's got to be different, I'm like, oh, and then how do you react with it? The thing is, if I'm going to put a post out today and someone goes and comments on it, I'm going to go back to them and comment back so they feel good. It's like me doing this. Let's high five, Emma. All right. Yeah. See, you high five me back. But how would I feel if you just left me hanging? All right. Yeah. And that's exactly the same with content. So if you're going to create content, please interact with it, because I've taken a minute out of my day, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to add a nice little comment. All right. And by me adding a comment, it means that LinkedIn is going to push that post a bit further. I want a little bit of a reward, even if it's brilliant thought, Ashley, well done. Yeah. So it's that sort of thing. Yeah. You get out what you put in.
Very sorry. We have come to the end of our time today. Thank you. I cannot say thank you enough, Ashley. There's so much love for you in the chat. Everyone's been so positive. This has been such hands-on, fast-paced, just so much knowledge and insight. So thank you so much. People have learned absolutely tons, and I'm sure people will be revisiting the replay as well, which we will send out to you very, very soon. Do you have any final words of wisdom?
Yeah, I have, because I didn't show my last slides. Have I got time to show those quickly?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, if everybody stops putting stuff in the chat, I've got a link to my newsletter. All right. I'll do the hearts again. But my newsletter, right? I've lost my slides. There they are. My newsletter is every single Friday. All right. I share 5 ideas for content. So I put it out on a Friday. so that you can start planning your content for the following week. All right, you only need to create content once a week. All right, show up every single day. All right, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Comment more than you post, because that's where the magic is. All right, build a rhythm that suits you. All right, don't listen to anybody else. If you like coming in the afternoon and doing LinkedIn, then that's what works for you. All right, make your profile a showcase so that we know who you are and stand out. All right, stay human, stay helpful, and stay visible. All right, this is the QR code for my my newsletter. All right, but go away remembering this. What's the best that can happen?
Love it. Thank you so much. I think you've filled everybody with a lot of positivity today. So I hope you will have a wonderful Thursday, and hopefully we'll see you all again for our next webinar, and hopefully also on LinkedIn.
Thank you very much indeed. Bye, everybody.